All right, so tonight will be recorded. My name is Abby Zarnecki. I am the Southern Region Angler Education Coordinator. Thank you for joining our program tonight. It is going to be PG. Use the Q&A box or chat box for communication. And if anyone misses it or you want to watch it later, forgot something I said, you'll be able to go to our YouTube channel and find out information on this video. You'll actually be able to see it on YouTube later on. So thank you. Nicole's all over it. So if you can, it's an anonymous survey, just curious how many people go fishing and how often, just so I can help you guys get the most out of tonight's talk. I will talk about the green sunfish specifically, and then we'll go into fishing a little more in depth. So if anyone's here more just to learn about the fish itself, I have an example of one behind me here. All right, couple more if you guys can answer the poll on your screen. Totally anonymous. I don't know who says what. You can let me know if you want me to know specifically. Awesome. Very excited to see new people. And I was going to say, I didn't recognize a lot of names from like other talks either. So very exciting to see you all. All right, well, we'll end it then and we'll guesstimate not a lot. So awesome. So I'm going to guess 50-50, and that's usually what it is. There we go. All right, so the green sunfish, which is part of the, I always forget the name of it, the sunfish family. Also included is, well, we'll go into that, sorry. Let me start over. So I wanted to do this talk on green sunfish because they get mixed up with bluegill very often. All part of the same family, just different species. So we'll have question and answers throughout. Please let me know if you're looking for a specific question, go ahead and type them into the Q&A box on the bottom. And then if we don't answer it right now, we'll answer it throughout the program. Nicole Haddad, her little Bitmoji and friends, she's our volunteer coordinator, so hopefully we'll be able to start doing volunteer projects again soon. She also is our conservation aide, so she does anything and everything with our outdoor programs as well. All right, so here's the Lepomis sunfish family. So we're going to talk about the green sunfish here. And you can see kind of compared to the other bodies, it's a little longer, like the red breast sunfish as well. And then this orange spotted sunfish. So they're a little longer, but you can see the rest of the family is rounder bodied. So that's kind of something you're going to look for when you catch these guys in the urban ponds as well. So they are a popular sport fish. They are regulated and protected. They are not considered a bait fish whatsoever. That's very illegal. Just wanted to get that out of the way too. I've seen some stuff online that is questionable. So even when they're small, some people call them minnows when they're small fish, they are protected, just like any other sport fish. In our guide, in the eregulations.com guide, the first link there on page 20 and 21, it goes through the popular, the common sport fish throughout the state. And then you can see green sunfish is on page 20 here. And it gives you a description of what you're looking for. So honestly, if you throw this in your fishing bucket or walk around with it at the parks, you can definitely use it as a reference guide as well. If you're just out and about at the park and just want to look at fish too, you can definitely see these guys in the shallows. Especially right now, they'll go out a little further. So I'd say they're probably 5 feet off the edge of the shoreline. But they're not very big still. So normally next month we do a fishing derby in Desert Shores, and they're only like 2 to 3 inches. It looks bigger against my face, but they're only like 2 to 3 inches. The bluegill, sunfish, and bass. So they spawned in the spring, but they're pretty slow growing. So the difference here, actually we'll go to the next one. There we go. So the difference here is they're about the same size, but you can see that the body's elongated here. And also this dorsal fin is longer in the front for the first dorsal ray versus the second dorsal ray. And you can see it's shorter on here. Both of these first dorsal fins actually go down. So when people catch them, they can actually grab it over the top. Carefully, like with their hand. I don't ever recommend using a towel. It ruins the slime on the fish and ruins their protective coating. So definitely you want, even if you're going to eat them, and they are totally edible, they're great white fish to eat, just smaller in size. You can actually push it down and hold on to them. So you just want to make sure you have a good grip so it doesn't pop up into your hand. Another thing is the pelvic fin here will be really bright yellow. This is a really good representation. These are actually professionally drawn from U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service. And then same with the bluegill. Even if they don't have the big blue gill here, both bodies get pretty green and blue throughout, but the pelvic fin on the bluegill is also going to be like a bluish gray. So definitely something to compare in the two. And because of the elongated body, the fin is actually a little bit more narrow as well compared to the bluegill, which is going to be wider in comparison to the body. So there's a few things. We'll go through it. We're going to show you some stuff from FishBrain too, and it's really hard sometimes to see the difference, and FishBrain tries to help out with you IDing the fish when people catch them, and it just doesn't come out right sometimes. So we're going to focus on the southern region. There are some in the northern regions. This is a very popular sport fish in urban ponds. And just to make sure, this is how fishing is funded, how fish are stocked, how the hatcheries and everything is funded as well, is from your fishing license. Also in Nevada, for the state of Nevada, you have to have a fishing license. A question that came up from a customer was, can I use this in other states? And so no, I just want to give that disclaimer, just in case somebody didn't know, that each state has their own fishing license because it is state-based waters that we protect and preserve and conservation, right? So really easy now. The fishing license lasts a whole year from the day you get it. endowlicensing.com, abbreviation here for us. It's $41 for an adult for the entire year. You can fish as many times as you want. And then a junior license here is only $16. That includes the convenience fee. And all you have to do is get it on your phone and save it just like a picture, and just make sure that you can show it to the game warden when they walk around. So we do have game wardens walking around. Feel free to ask them questions while you're out and run into them. They're a wealth of knowledge. For first-time anglers, or anyone going out on a trip, always recommend a checklist. Make sure that you have everything that you intended to bring. We'll go over some things that you definitely want to have on hand when you're out. And also know your water, know where you're going, what you're doing, and that includes the weather. So sometimes our waters are used to protect endangered species or endemic species. And so you want to make sure that when you catch that fish, that it's not actually protected. So make sure you know what you're catching and what fish are in that water. And all of our urban ponds in the city, you can only take 3 fish total home. So 1 trout, say you catch a trout, a bass, and a green sunfish, that's 3 total, and that's it. All done fishing for the day. So you can check and see what's being caught, anything about our fishable waters, all under this tab. And our website is endow.org. Again, the abbreviation for us, and this is getting a little makeover. You'll be able to see it next year, very exciting. So you can look for all this stuff under the fishing tab here. Then you click on that. And fishing reports, a link to get a fishing license and that fishing guide, which is the second link on the chat box. So then you click on where to fish. And you can click on the body of water and see what fish are in the water. You can click on a fish species under this tab too, and it'll show what bodies of water have this fish. So for green sunfish, these are the bodies of water listed and the counties that the fish are found in. So say Lorenzee Park is definitely one of the ones I'm going to spotlight because the green sunfish are definitely abundant there. They do really, really well. Also on that website, when you click on the waters, and see if I can get it to pop up for you. Oh, I had it. There you go. So this is a Google map. You can even make your own of your favorite fishable waters, favorite outdoor fishing places, or outdoor any places. And you can see up top, learn how to create your own. So you can create an interactive Google map and mark all the spots that you like to fish or that you like to hike, whatever your outdoor adventure it includes, or fishable waters that you like to hike to. There's some great ones above Tonopah. So it's only like 4 hours away. And so then you click on the water and it gives you a little description about the area. We also do a fishing report every single week. It is updated every single week. A little time consuming, but so beneficial and so excited to get information to Sportsman's Warehouse, Bass Pro Shop. The Review Journal prints it out so you can Google it that way too, or just click on our website. So you can see the fishing reports here, and then it goes Western, Southern, and Eastern. So then we click on the Southern region. And it gives you information about the fish being caught, which is definitely bluegill and green sunfish. They do go hand in hand. We have green sunfish because most of the farms have green sunfish in with the bluegill, and we do focus on stocking bluegill more than green sunfish. So again, you can see how this kind of looks like a bluegill, but you can see also that the rear fin is smaller and that the pectoral fin is very yellow and that this front dorsal, the first dorsal ray is shorter than the second. This video is from Lorenzee Park, or on Fishbrain they call it Twin Lakes, which is the name of the actual water. And these are little green sunfish that we fly fished for during some demos for Nevada Department of Wildlife. So you can actually, that's why this looks kind of funny. This is straight off a video that our supervisor recorded of the green sunfish chasing our little flies. All right, so a few things about the green sunfish is that they are a very popular sport fish in the sunfish family. easily confused with bluegill, as I was saying. They only get up to 13 inches, and that is a record. And also 1 pound, 13 ounces is our state record. So they do not get very big either. So maybe like my hands are pretty small. So there you go. Like two hands is about a really good sized green sunfish. They adapt really well to new conditions. They weren't intended to actually be here, but they are, and they are doing very, very well. They love waters above 67 degrees. So that's when they start spawning and creating more little fry in the ponds. So you can see where they definitely started, and then they've like branched off into little sub-rivers along the Mississippi, and then they've also moved west, just like many invasive species. But you can see they're kind of throughout here where it's warmer, up here where it's urbanized too, so along urban areas. And then naturally, if they're in one part of the Colorado River, they're going to be in all parts of the Colorado River. So they're more prominent in the Mojave around Cottonwood. The waters in that basin are definitely warmer than the water coming straight out at the dam. They are edible. They're just smaller, kind of like a perch. That's the best way to describe it. But they are not native. So you'll see them hiding. You'll find them hiding along branches and under brush and in shallow shaded waters. Floyd Lamb has some really great spots where the trees hang over the edge of the shallow water, and you can actually find them schooling in that area. So you would not necessarily cast on top of them, but you would want to cast right past them and then pull a mealworm or a red fly across to entice them. All right, so Nicole started making this one. We use the Fish Brain app to see what people are catching. These are from Twin Lakes. This one I definitely liked. It's not a local one, but when you look up green sunfish specifically, it just gives you a whole list of them. And this one was actually caught today this morning. And you can see that it's definitely a yellow pectoral fin. So I just wanted to show you that. And then also it showed with this little icon here. Did I miss? Oh, I did miss. I went, give me 1 second. Nope, they're out of order. So we're gonna go back and forth. So to look up some of the hotspots, this is the logo for the Fish Brain app. Definitely a big resource used by some professional sport fishers, anglers. And the cool thing about it is, so this is from Twin Lakes. Oh my goodness. Try this again. All right. Up top, you can see that it's the Twin Lakes. You can even see that it's part of the worm is still on the hook there. And it will show you what they used. But this one only showed the fishing line that they used. So, so I went and found some other resources. And again, green sunfish and bluegill get mixed up a lot. So if you go back here though, you can definitely tell this is a green sunfish. And this person showed that they caught it with, they used a bait caster, which you definitely don't need that much of, but they used a little crankbait. And so you can tell that their food source is a little lighter white fish. And so that'll pop right across the top, just like a fly would jump across the top. And that's how they got their catch this morning. This one I like too. This is definitely out of the Twin Lakes. The cool thing is you can see the bobber, one of those yellow and orange topwater, the longer ones, is hiding here. So when you look at the pictures, look at the whole picture. And then down here, you can see that they have the worms. So they just use a little piece of worms, because you can also see that those mouths are 2 thumb sizes. So not very big, but definitely wanted to show you how to use the FishBrain app for yourself when you do some research before you get to go out. Any questions about that? Any other apps anybody else likes to use when they go out? There's some great hiking apps, and on those hiking apps, sometimes there's a great stream, and you can see what the fish swimming along those streams too. All right, feel free to comment if you'd like. So again, I picked some of these pictures because of what they were going after. So these are flies that they're going after, and flies are great lure in a way that you can add on to a regular spin cast rod and put it a couple feet below a bobber. So you can definitely use this yellow fly just like this one here and put it on a regular fishing pole, because that's going to look like the flies or any other insects that they're going after. They also love mealworms and pieces of earthworms. So you can see this kind of looks like a piece of a night crawler, and then this one looks kind of like in the water, especially if it's darker waters. This will be darker, and they might just think it's a fly or a bug of some sort, or even a mealworm, which they really do love. And as long as it's threaded along the hook, that'll give you a chance to hook them as they grab it. Any larvae, so like little dragonfly midges, are only this big and look like little long worms with little forked tails. And sometimes crustaceans, small freshwater shrimp or clams, kind of like on Mojave, there's quagga mussels. So honestly, we've seen them in the fish bellies. So definitely something to look at there. So remember, you're imitating what they're naturally eating, especially if they're from that water. If they're not from a hatchery or a farm, sometimes they are. But if they're not, and most of these fish are reproduced naturally in that water, they're going to go after insects or bugs in the water already found there. So on to some cool tricks and tips to catch them. They are not big fish, so you definitely want a lighter weight rod. And it's honestly going to be more fun for you to have a lighter weight rod because you'll feel it more. So you get that hook, and then they're still pulling and fighting, and it's going to feel like a monster fish. So it's a lot of fun, especially for younger kids that have never been able to have that opportunity. When I'm also going to give the public service announcement that a lot of the stores are out of equipment. So check with the store, see if they can order it for you. If not, check their website. A lot of them are doing site deliveries to the store or to your house. And definitely recommend getting like a little kit, Zeb Code 202s or Shakespeare has a nice basic rod as well. So, and it comes all together, so you don't have to worry about piecing it together. Also, again, small mounts, so a size 10 or 12 hook, and it'll say right on the side of the bag. You don't want anything too big because then they won't be able to bite it. They'll just steal your bait and leave you with an empty hook. Anchor for your water. So that's that sinker swivel over here. So a lot of the waters aren't very deep, or you don't have a lot of waves because it's not a large lake like Lake Mead. So you don't want a big sinker. You want a nice little smaller one. I'll put this over here. Hopefully you can see that. Yeah, there we go. So you can see it's like the tip of my thumb sized, a nice bell hook so that it'll fit through the weeds as well. Make sure that's your top part there. There we go. But if you are out at Lake Mead, because there are some, there's bluegill, not green sunfish really, but or Mojave where the water's moving, you do want a little bit of a bigger weight, but not too big that you're going to get stuck in the rocks. So all the waters are pretty rocky. And then another option is on a not so windy day is to take a bobber with a foot or two down and put that little fly, or you can see down here, the little worm, and make sure it hooks all the way through and have it extended. But you can see here too, like with the sinker, it's gonna go down unless you have something to help it float up. So honestly, you could even use like a power bait egg with that worm, and that'll give that orange reddish color too, and a little scent for the water. But definitely learn your water, test it out. May not catch something the first day. Look at the moon cycle. If it's a full moon at night, they're going to be feeding at night, and it's going to be hard to catch during the day, especially during the summer. These are warm water fish, so they definitely like warm, but not too warm because nothing likes to cook in the sun. All right, so a little example here of how to put a worm on or a cricket, so right through the thorax here. And then you want to thread your worm and not make it very big. So mealworms are great to be able to do this with. And then here's also an example. You have your bobber hitting the water, about 1 foot down is your weight, your sinker weight. And then another foot down is your worm and hook. And so that way you're 2 feet from the top and can get towards the bottom, but you're still right out of the weed line where they're going to be hiding, and then they're going to come up and grab your food. This website actually helped out with this description for you. So kayakpaddling.net, how to catch your sunfish. And also not to be mistaken with the sunfish from the ocean. So these are freshwater sunfish. They're little small pond fish, not the big monster ocean fish. All right, so they are really good eating, I promise. So here's a couple sunfish fillets here. They're like a mild bass, and honestly, soaking them in a little salt water is highly recommended. And in the summer, kind of check them out, make sure that they are fresh. Everything in the summer gets kind of yucky sometimes, not intentional, just sometimes water temperatures create extra bugs, and so then the fish sometimes don't do too well in those conditions. But WikiHow actually has a really cool demo to go along with this, and you just want to make sure that you don't waste the fish, but you get a full, nice, clean cut fillet, especially with these fish being so small. Definitely make sure that they're a little bit bigger, and then that way you can just cut right behind the gill plate, right along the fins, and then slice along the bones. And that'll give you a nice fillet on top, and then you just right under the skin line can actually, like in this last picture here, can actually cut the skin right off the meat. So again, little small fillets, it'd be kind of like a thin chicken breast. Does anyone else have any favorite fish? So quiet out there. If you guys have any questions, any comments, please let us know. Ethical angler is a great one, especially for beginning fishing, for kids. Scouts have some badges and all. So want to make sure that you're fishing responsibly, that if you're this close together, that you're all family. And this was 2 families last fall, and we went down to Lake Mojave. They have a huge fishing pier there. but not everybody was fishing either. It was like every other one. So they were just kind of hanging out together too, because you don't want to be any closer than 2 fishing rods to the next person, so that you don't get caught up. So fish responsibly, respect the water and your fellow angler. And by doing that, you're being cautious with your spacing, your garbage, bringing an extra bag to clean anything up around you. And I just leave my garbage bag in the side of my tackle bag. Let them go and grow. So like I was saying, right now, some of the green sunfish are only 2 inches. So great for catch and release for kids. They can literally just grab the hook and right above the water. I honestly don't even have to touch the sunfish sometimes. You just put them right above the water and then slowly unhook it, because they'll get it right on the mouth. And then they just go right into the water and swim off. So that's the best way to let them go and grow, is to not even have to touch them. But if you do, make sure your hands are wet. That way you can keep their protective coating on. And selective harvesting. If you have a fridge full of food, you don't need to bring your fish home. Also letting them grow and grow and grow. And keeping only like the good size ones. If it's too big, you want them to be a successful brooder, which means that they're going to keep spawning. And if they're too small, obviously they're not reproducing yet. So let them get a little bit bigger. So definitely that medium size. So like out at Lake Mead, the striped bass get like 3 pounds is a great one to catch and keep, and you'll get a lot of good meat out of it. So again, maybe like a hand size for these sunfish if you're going to keep them. And pass it on, share this with the kids. So we have great ponds 5-10 minutes from some of these houses. Lake Mead's only 40 minutes from the center of town, or actually even the west side of town. You can get all the way across now, since there's not a lot of people out and about. And Mojave's 40 minutes from Henderson, so, or an hour to Cottonwood Cove. So definitely a lot of opportunities out there. And pass it on, share the love. There is First Catch a certificate. I can definitely help get that for you, or you can just go to Take Me Fishing First Catch and print it for a little person or whoever is excited about their first bite. And be prepared when you go out. Be a smart fish. Have your fishing license, have a bag or two, know where you can get rid of your garbage at the end of the day. Sometimes you have to bring it home because there's just no trash nearby if you're in a really rural area. Check the weather conditions, make sure you're safe, and that the hours of operation. So some of the urban ponds actually close before sunset. And feel free to ask us and check the fishing report and see what we've found out for you guys. So any more questions? Embrace the outdoors and be responsible when you're out. Please let me know if you have any questions. Email address is on the bottom down there or up here. And that's the phone number to get a hold of me or any of us. Thank you for supporting our education programs. On your way out, there is a survey. We would love to hear what you thought of everything. Any questions you have for future stuff, I can email you. So let us know on your way out. Thank you for coming. If you have any more questions, let me know. We'll stay on here for just another minute and let you all go and have an awesome night. Thanks for your help, Nicole.
You are welcome.
All right, have a good night, everyone.